All right, everybody, welcome back to the OffBeat Sports Podcast. Today we're joined by Joe Murray from 98.5 The Sports Hub. You can hear him sometimes on Sundays, and he's got a podcast. What's your podcast called?
Just Sittin Here.
Where can you get your podcast, Joe?
On Spotify, iTunes, and on YouTube. And I have a show Saturdays at 7 a.m. called the DraftKings Over Under Show. And I'm on whenever basically they need me.
Go listen to Joe whenever you have a chance. And so we're going to talk about some sports. And first off, we have a question for you. So what got you into sports radio in the first place?
So I was if you guys ever seen me, I'm 6'3", over 300 pounds. So when I played football, I love sports. I was a 3-sport athlete in high school, very competitive, wanted to go to the next level. Just never got that opportunity, and I didn't know what to do with my life from there. I was working in the automotive business. I was driving cars, and I was listening to sports radio, and I'm like, I can do this. And I tried to become a musician at one point. My buddies were in a band, and they're like, I was like, I think I got a good voice. I can sing. So I started, to sing with my buddies and learned all, the back end of it, like production wise. And when I went to Connecticut School of Broadcasting, I went there and I knew already how to use all the equipment. And basically I just had to work on my voice. I had a really bad Boston accent and worked on that. And but my second day of class, I got an internship.
Who said it was bad?
Oh no, I'm from High Park, so like it was like, dude, bro, like, hot. It was bad, man. But I've been in the business 13 years now, and it's a struggle, guys. Like, in this, I'm sure you guys want to get into it, but there's challenges, man. It's not like you get a job and you work there for 30 years and like, you put in the work. It's a grind, man. If I told you my journey, you'd be like, man, why didn't you give up? But still going. I still love it, and I'm not full time yet. It's there's contracts involved in this business. It's all politics, you know what I mean? But you just got to grind. And if I can give you any advice, availability is the best ability. If someone says, hey, can you do this? Do it.
You're always on. I think you've said that. Like, you're always, like, whenever, because I listen to it, almost 9 hours, 10 hours a day, depending on the day. Because when I work, I get up at 6 and I hear all of the morning show, the mid show, and then most of Felger and Maz. And you've been on all three, like, throughout different times.
Yeah.
Like, whenever
dude, I got a call this morning at 5:59. Hey, can you come in? It's how it works. But I'm one of these guys that when the pandemic wasn't going on, I was working a full-time job and doing sales in Boston, and it's like, how do you balance out both? I'm married, like, it's like, how do I do, how do you do it? It's a struggle, but these other guys, good for them. They know their time slot, they're salaried, and it's great. But again, for me, like, it's, hey, whatever they want from me, I'll show up.
Yeah.
You have like a favorite part or favorite experience from your time at the Sports Hub?
The Sports Hub's great. I'll tell you, everybody there is really cool. Like, if you meet everyone, they'll be personable. They'll walk up to you. The hardest thing for me was I didn't write for a newspaper. I wasn't a former athlete with any credibility. I was just some kid from the city that was doing a sports show. So, to get that type of like, hey, who's this kid? What does he have to say? That was a struggle early on. I've worked at other stations all across New England, and it was okay because we didn't get callers, and it was like, who's this guy? I kind of like his opinion. But I think
no one could question you, right?
Yeah. Like, now it's like I've been around, like you said, you've heard me on different shows. You can identify my voice now, and it's like, oh yeah, that's that Joe kid. He's kind of funny, like whatever. But that's the one thing is you guys do a sports podcast. You know how many people in the world are doing a sports podcast?
Yeah.
So what separates you guys from being different than everybody else? That's the same thing when it comes to radio. It's like, what can make you different? I'm still every day trying to figure out, hey, but like gambling content's big. Nobody really talks UFC. So
yeah, you guys talk about that all the time. There's always like the ads you talk about, like there's one running this week for like the UFC 250 thing that you guys
exactly. But no one else does that stuff. And the one thing is you don't want to be boxed in as like I see a Celtics guy here. I see a guy with all 4 sports here, and you with the Celtics and the Hartford Whalers. You just don't want to be like blocked in as like, I'm a baseball guy, I'm a Patriots guy, I'm a football guy, because then that's all you'll be used for. And if you're not well rounded, you're not going to get those opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the NBA, like last week, they got, or not even last week, they got the go ahead to come back in July. And so what do you think? Who do you think is going to take it all when they go back, when they go to Disney?
To me, it's either the Lakers or the Clippers. And it probably would have been the Lakers or Clippers to begin with anyways if the pandemic didn't happen.
No Milwaukee?
So here's my deal with Milwaukee. I just don't think that they can beat who can stop Giannis? That's number one, right?
Yeah.
So I think they probably have an easy way to the playoffs.
I mean, the Lakers have a good, like, Anthony Davis could play, pretty good defense for.
Well, here's the deal with the Celtics. The Celtics have a very poor bench. If you watched, Marcus Smart's going to be the best. You can match Marcus Smart against any bench player in the league. But Lou Williams is a better bench player. Kyle Kuzma is a better bench player. So there's two right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're both on the Lakers. But if you look at Milwaukee, I think Milwaukee's pretty good. George Hill, Ersan Ilyasova is a good player.
Yeah.
DiVincenzo has been very good. You're going to have one of the Lopez brothers off the bench, Kyle Korver. He can shoot from the outside. They got Marvin Williams, a former starter, as well. So, the more I look at it, I think their bench is deep, where the Celtics have Marcus Smart and his Cantor.
That was something, that was huge. Everyone I was so mad at Ainge when they didn't make any moves at the deadline.
Well, he hasn't made one in four. The last trade he's made at the deadline was Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, my thing with the Celtics is I am very interested to see how they come back, because they were on a pretty good streak going into this, but then they're coming back. They're going to be healthy for the like actually healthy for the first time all season.
Well, I'd say Tatum was on a good streak, not the team.
Yeah, but that also helps. But I'm saying, like, you coming in with a fully healthy team. That's a dangerous Celtics team when they're fully healthy.
Yeah, the problem is they're going to have to play Philadelphia probably in the first round. Philadelphia is going to have a healthy Joel Embiid and a healthy Ben Simmons, And then, the thing with the Sixers is, they play very well at home. They don't play well on the road. Well, now you have neutral courts. So what's going to happen with that? Listen, I love the Celtics. I think they're talented. I think that, they're very well coached. But at the same time, as you mentioned, that whole starting five that they haven't played together like 7 times all year.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe something like that takes off, The thing with the Bucks is I think they're just explosive. It's hard to stop Giannis, and if they're going.
And then you have an amazing scorer with Middleton. He's I think he's wicked underrated for what he provides, because he's 50, 40, 90. Like, he's a great, he just plays his role perfectly next to Giannis, because Giannis doesn't shoot.
He's hurt the Celtics a ton. I mean, he might hit an.
Oh my God! When they played the Bucks a couple of years ago, first round, that game when Terry Rozier crossed over Bledsoe.
But he hit a 3 to tie it at the buzzer.
Yeah. Middleton hit a 3 to tie.
Yeah,
that was insane. I was there. That was insane.
Yeah, that game just kind of shows, but like what Middleton can do. But he does well against other teams, but against the Celtics, he's just incredible. So that concerns me, having to go against the Bucks like later in the playoffs if we get there.
Yeah, I think they play the Clippers early too. I think they have to play the Clippers early in the new format.
So I don't know if that format went through, actually. I think they're going to keep it Eastern-Western, but that was it. Yeah.
Oh, they're going to keep it Eastern-Western.
Yeah, but that was true, though. They were going to
play them in like the second round.
Philly, LA, the Clippers, and then like Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And like that wouldn't have been any easier. Here's the deal, guys. The Celtics are a good team. It's just that, how many years can we all sit here and say, hey, this is the year, this is the next year?
Oh my God, yeah.
They didn't improve at the trade deadline. Like
they're
still a good team. Like, they're a good team. They're going to be good for the next 5 years or whatever. It's just that you have to face it, when these star players like LeBron James and Anthony Davis are on the same team, or if a Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are on the same team, and then throw in a Lou Williams 6th Player of the Year, or Kyle Kuzma, as I mentioned.
The Clippers are stacked.
Dude, look at the Clippers. Landry Shamit's a great young player.
And then they got Morris.
Zubac.
They have Montrezl Harrell.
Montrezl Harrell's a beast.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying is, like, I think the Lakers are a little more deep. When it comes to the playoffs, it's about depth and playing defense.
And they have experience. Like, that team's old. Like, that Lakers team's they have a lot of veterans on that team. I think he's going to come up clutch for them in the playoffs.
Yeah, the Lakers are probably my top team. I think Clippers would be a close second, but I think just LeBron in the playoffs. Like, people say he's not as good because of his finals record, but he's still tremendous in the playoffs.
Right. Listen, I'm over the whole LeBron. Like, LeBron's not there. he's the best player of this generation. Like
Yeah.
we're not. He's you know how we talk about Giannis being a matchup nightmare. The people haven't covered LeBron in years. You know, like they had to put Kevin Garnett against him at one point to stop him. You know, for years back. So I mean, the Lakers it's up to them. If they don't win it, it's on LeBron. It's on them. But I'll tell you, Kawhi Leonard in the Western Conference defense, man. If you can throw in a Patrick Beverly, a Kawhi Leonard, a Paul George, like those three guys playing defense themselves, you know, throwing a Marcus Morris as well. Like
And Montrez,
you know, Zubac I really like. I mean, I think but like defensively, those four guys are really strong. And you know, the Lakers are gonna have guys who can be like Danny Green can hit threes off the bench. You know, like he's probably gonna start for him, but you know, Avery Bradley's still a good defender. Rajon Rondo is still a good point guard. It's all about the Western Conference for me. But hey, if the Celtics somehow can get to the finals, I mean, Brad Stevens look at it. The Celtics have played the Clippers tough, the Lakers tough. They play them tough. Can they win?
Oh my God, those Clippers-Lakers games for the Celtics this year were amazing.
Yeah,
like even that game when Tatum dropped, I think 42 on the Lakers, and they lost by I think they lost by 1 point. That game was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And
Celtics' issue is their bench. You know,
oh my God, it's horrible.
After Cantor and after Smart,
And Cantor doesn't even play. They literally, I don't know why they.
I mean,
Cantor
Cantor should have been a lot better than he was this year. I've been really disappointed with him.
No, see, the thing with Cantor is he's not a good defender. He's a terrible.
Yeah, no.
And Brad Stevens is a defensive-minded coach.
But last year, when he had to fill in for the Blazers, he was outstanding, man.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying I'm disappointed with him because I wanted to see that player that he was.
Well, no, he's shown flashes of that. He's had games where I'm like
flashes of it.
He's a immaculate offensive rebounder.
He's just a defensive liability.
I've had games where I've seen him just go off, and his impact on the boards and putbacks, getting second opportunities, I think is going to be very important down the stretch.
Like, I definitely agree with you, Murray. Like, all of us kind of agree. The bench is just so tough. Like, you get to the end of that bench, and it's like Javonte Green and who's that center they got? The French kid? Like, I don't even know.
Yeah, he doesn't play, though.
Vincent Poirier? Like, why? Why?
Well, you know what it is? So they can get these guys cheap. They have to fill out the roster, so there's a salary cap.
No, yeah, I know that.
You know, that's what they did. You know, and look at Daniel Tice. The guy he's a find, right? He's a starter right now. That's a guy.
Oh, definitely. For sure.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Tice.
Well, we also Robert Williams. I don't know if he's back.
So I like Robert Williams, but you know, to bank on him to be healthy, smart, a lot of things. It's a gamble, man. And,
yeah, then you have Grant Williams. Like, there's some young pieces there, but like it's just they don't have enough.
The Celtics are a good team. They don't have enough experience coming off stars. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah,
and we've been like releasing like power rankings, and even in those I have Lakers top and then Clippers right behind them, and I truly think and I have the Celtics at 4, Bucks at 3, but I think the Lakers are winning it all. I don't think the Clippers can edge them out, and the Bucks. I definitely don't think.
I don't know. I mean, I'll make a friendly wager with you guys. I like the Clippers. I like Doc Rivers. I don't think coaching really matters in the NBA. I don't.
Yeah, but I think because it's about the guys who are on the floor.
But I think this year it will. I think this year trying to manage minutes for these guys haven't played ball in 3 months, man. Mm-hmm. They're gonna stuff them all with no home court. You know, the refs can't have an angle on it. You know, I mean, this can be a shootout. The team I'd watch for is like Miami Heat, right? Could they go on a run somehow?
I'm a Denver guy. Like,
I like Denver too, but their bench stinks. Like, I look at Houston, man. Houston runs 5, got PJ Tucker at the center, like, you know, Austin Rivers off the bench. Like, they got some players, man. So, you know, you got to look at one team that could be, you know, Dallas. Who knows, right? I mean, with one all-star on their team and who's an MVP candidate. Like,
well, now Dallas has a chance to not make the playoffs, I'm pretty sure.
Well, they're going to have that plan. So
yeah.
Well, I'm concerned with this. My concern with the Celtics is Tatum. Like early in this, I don't know.
He didn't have a hoop, right?
He hasn't been able to play. Yeah. He hasn't shot the ball that much.
He has a hoop now. He got a hoop,
but realistically, how much has he shot the ball? Like, he wasn't shooting for a little while. That concerns me because he was on that hot streak. So that gap may have hurt him.
We'll find out, right? Hottest player in the league, and then things shuts down.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
And
Yeah,
then
and I agree with your coach's take. I think that they could matter now that you say that. But in basketball, like in the NBA, it doesn't matter nearly as much as sports like the NFL, where the coach
Yeah.
just runs the whole team.
Nick
It's
Nurse,
different.
man. Nick Nurse, coach of the Raptors, right? Was it him or was it Kawhi Leonard? You know,
Yeah,
it's
That's
like,
why, yeah.
it was definitely.
I think that's also an interpretive take, because I do think that there's some coaches in the league that like actually coach their teams to
Like Brad Stevens early in his Celtics career, he coached that team up. Like they had no,
yeah.
like that team went the year when
their
they
plays are phenomenal.
how many there was a year where he had so many players go through his lineup. I can't remember. It was an absurd number, and they were still like.
Well, listen, that's the knock. That's the knock on Brad Stevens, man. The knock on Brad Stevens is he can elevate talent, but when he actually has talent, can he win? We'll find out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that his playmaking, or like his ability to like create plays for his team, is incredible, because even like, or some of the plays I've watched film on them, and I've seen, like, I just kind of go through my head on what they're running, and like I've had like my coaches have us run plays that Brad Stevens has created, and it's just they work so well. And I think that is a huge part, like that being able to just go to a play and be able to score off it, know you're going to get a good shot off of it, is very
If you're
important.
shooting, you guys probably don't score, but yeah.
Okay.
So besides the NBA, the other topic that we had, the MLB came out, I believe today, with the newest offer to the MLBPA, and they proposed a 76-game season, and they guaranteed the players 50% of their prorated pay and the opportunity of earning 75 of their salaries if there's a postseason. So what do you think about that? Because the MLB is doing this such a shit show with this whole situation. They can't find their way back onto the field.
Yeah, they're gonna lose me, man. They're gonna lose me quick. It's for me. It's not even about the owners or the players or anything like that. There's a problem with the game, man. Like, you guys are younger than me, dude. Like, I'm 38, right? I used to go down. My mom would drop me off at the park. I'd be down there all day hanging out. Like, I loved it. I'd watch all the other games there. Like, now, imagine being a parent dropping your kids off. You don't even know when, like, the game's going to end. Like, the game is so prolonged that, like, my attention span, and with social media and everything else going on, like, I'll pop on a Red Sox game. I'll watch the first inning, and all of a sudden, like, I'm in a basketball game. I go back to the Red Sox game. It's the fourth inning. And I'm like, they got to be kidding me, dude. Like, I was watching this hours ago. It's just in this day of social media and just everything at the palm of your hand.
Everything moves so much faster, and that just doesn't.
And dude, it's just, to me, like, they've already lost me. And I'm a huge sports fan. Like, dude, like, I'm not a fantasy baseball player anymore. I can't do it because I don't want to keep up. Like, I don't want to know who the second baseman is for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Like, that was the stuff I used to love to do. Like, now I don't care. I don't. And it's too long. The sport is still a good game. I don't care what anyone says. Baseball is still one of those sports that when you grind it out there, but for me, like, I played ball, man. Like, did I want to play baseball in the summer? No. Would I rather be at the pool with my friends and hanging out down the Absolutely. But, like, I don't have people don't have that love anymore. People don't have that love to hang out anymore and, like, make it work. Your parents aren't going to drag you to do it because you can go do something else, right? There's other options now. There's lacrosse. There's soccer. That stuff wasn't out 20 years ago when I was a kid. You know what I mean? Or playing ball. So, for me, there's just so many other options and so many other distractions that the game needs to figure it out. I don't know if they need to, like, go 7 innings or, get rid of the DH entirely or whatnot. Whatever's happening with the players and the owners right now, like, that's all just minutia, okay? They're just, one side's trying to win and be like, the players still want their money. Don't get me wrong. Like, the owners signed those deals. Those players deserve that money. So I get that part of it. But at the same time, like, you have problems inside the game. And I think Rob Manfred's terrible. I do. I think Rob Manfred hasn't stepped in the middle of this whatsoever.
Oh, my God. He gets writ. Like, players ride him. It's crazy. When
it comes to football, though, Robert Kraft will step in and do something. When it comes to basketball, these other owners will step in. Every sport, these owners will step. We haven't had any of that. We had an owner, Tom Ricketts from the Cubs, saying we don't make that much money. So it's just, to me, the whole sport is whack at the moment, and they've lost me, and they're going to lose the casual fan as well. And think about it. All the pink hats, I'm going to still call them pink hats. All the people who go to Fenway who just care just to be there, and now you can't be there. You lost them too.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't
I
watch. a
agree.
whole lot
I
of
agree. I don't
baseball
think
personally, but like I would. But even if they just came back now, I'd probably watch it just for just
Because
to
there's
watch
nothing
them.
else on.
But this is just getting annoying. Just seeing all these like these news things about like them not being able to come to a thing. I'm like, I don't want to watch a 4-hour baseball game to begin with. Never mind like the fact that half these players aren't like the good players aren't going to want to play because they're not getting their money.
Well,
Like
the MLB had the best opportunity to come back first. Their season hadn't started. It wasn't like they had to pick up where they left off. They just had to start it. And their sport's easily the safest as far as like the regulations of COVID-19. Easily the safest. You have like between each inning you could sanitize. They could get rid of the balls pretty easily. Like all this different stuff. Nobody's near each other. Everyone's spaced out besides the base runner and the first, second base, third base. Like everyone's far away. No one's like close. It's such an easy thing for them to do. But then it's like the players like, oh, we want to be safe. So then they put in a bunch of restrictions. They're like, oh, well, I'm going to spit. Well, do you want to be safe or do you want to like, what do you want? Because then it's just so dumb. Like they had the golden opportunity to be first back and look like heroes in the sports world. But no, instead you're going to have NBA and you're going to have like Dana White. Like what? Why? You could have been back and you're not. And it's so stupid. And I agree with you. They're going to lose so many fans because of it.
because now everyone's going to want to watch the NBA, and they're not going to have anyone watching the MLB.
Exactly. It's going to be competitive in the other leagues. Like you have playoffs and like NHL. Oh my God. NHL playoffs are like addicting. They play like so hard in those games. And especially with the Bruins, like this could be like their year. Like this could be like their final like real run. Like their main core, besides, they have some young guys, but like the older guys, like you don't know if they're gonna be able to do this again next year.
I mean, they got a lot of good young guys though. I think like Pasternak.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying like you have Chara, you have Bergeron, you have like these guys that are aging. They're not getting any younger. You don't know if they're gonna be able to come back again after if they lose this 2 finals losses in a row. Like you don't know if they're gonna be able to come back again. Like this could be it. Like everyone's gonna pay way more attention to those than some stupid baseball game with guys that don't want to be there, complain about everything, don't talk to the media. Like they're just, no one's going to want to be a part of that product when it just is just horrible, when they're just there just to pass the time. It's so stupid.
Who made the best decision was quarterback over there for the Cardinals there.
Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray made the best decision playing football instead of baseball.
Yeah, I mean, whenever it comes back, I'm gonna watch it just because I'm a baseball fan. But I agree, it's dragging on a little too long. But I don't think they should change rules. Like I'm fine with getting rid of the DH because I think it should be the same throughout the whole MLB. But I don't want them to go down to 7 innings or have any pitch clock rules.
But what are they gonna do? Like, think about it, right? Mike Trout's the best player in the game. What do you know about Mike Trout? Like, what do we know about Mookie Betts besides he bowls? You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Bryce Harper is getting paid a bleep ton. And, like, what do we know about these? They don't market.
They don't market anybody.
They don't know.
I noticed that the other day because Mike Trout's, like, something they, like, reposted or something. He has, like, less than 1 million followers on, like.
He has, like, 2 million.
I don't know. He doesn't have a lot on, like, his social media. The bums of, like, the other sports have, like, 4 or 5 million. And the best player of this generation for your game in MLB isn't even close to that. Like,
I don't know. Throw out some examples then, if you think the game can change.
Mike Trout's got 1.8 million followers on Instagram.
Okay.
Jaylen Brown has like 3, and he's not even close.
Yeah, but Jaylen Brown's a different.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, he's a lesser caliber.
So here's the deal: the NBA is a worldwide sport, like worldwide. Like everybody, like China, it's a huge sport. Baseball, like there's the Korean baseball league, there's all these other baseball, Japanese baseball league. So like, when it comes to baseball, yeah, it's big here in America, but like what could, like, let's throw it around. What could baseball do to change?
I
don't want them to change just because I'm a baseball fan.
No, and I hear you, but like you gotta look.
I know. If I'm the league, I might want to make a change, but as a fan,
can you cut the time between innings? Like how much? Like
I wouldn't want that. Like if I'm the league, I might think about doing that. But I don't.
But how much time are in between innings that they're like? Why can't they cut?
Oh, they put a pitch. They have a clock on it. They have a clock on it. But no, I'm saying, like, what can they do? And for me, it's doing things like home run derbies, like that are not during the season. Things that can happen. Maybe mic up the players so we can learn a little bit more about them. Like you don't want to change the game, but like, can we change the way we see the game? maybe the guys tweet something after an inning or something. Like, can there be something that we can do that we can relate to someone?
Yeah,
And
'cause
that's the
He has
biggest
an
thing.
Apple Watch.
well, the
Like,
NBA, we get a huge social media presence from the NBA. Like we get and they'll literally go and like they push LeBron so much. Like it annoys the crap out of me, but now I'm like I know way too much about LeBron.
Well, you know why they push him, because you either love him or hate him.
Yeah,
He's
and I
the
have
They do the same thing with
now.
the best
Now I
rookie.
know way too much about LeBron's life, but now LeBron is like now I'm thinking about LeBron in the NBA. Like, there's got to be something the MLB can do, like to just.
I'm telling you, mic up the
someone.
players, do something in the offseason. Maybe have an all-star game that's not during the season. I don't know. Maybe end of the season all-star games. Something.
I don't even know what happens.
Normally we
to
like the all-star games, right? Like usually that's a big moment here. If you don't want to change the way the game is, then insert something to make it more interesting.
it's crazy because at this point, if the players continue to reject the offers and they have potential to not play.
They're not going to play.
That's what they're saying.
I don't think they're going to play. They don't want to play.
That's
think
going
they're gonna
to
play either.
kill the sport.
Yeah, no, I know. It's terrible. It's going to be worse than hockey. It's going to be worse than hockey.
Yeah, but without fans in the seats, it's tough to pay the players what they want because the owners will lose money.
And you just talked about you love the sport. You don't want it to change.
Yeah.
Hockey can come back, play the playoffs, and everyone's going to be in. Like it could,
I love watching playoff hockey, but I probably watch one regular.
But with baseball, it's kind of like, do I really want to waste my time watching a 9-inning game when I can go out to the pool or go out to the bar now that they're open or something to that degree? And that's going to be the difference.
Yeah.
I don't watch a lot of hockey, but I definitely watch playoff hockey because it's so interesting to watch.
I don't even know what happens to that sport if they don't play, because everyone's like, oh, they're gonna they need to make changes. They're not really the kind of league that's like, we're gonna make these changes.
Yeah, there's too many purists who love it the way it is. Like, dude, they were arguing about if someone like broke a hitting record this year, hit over 400, what that would mean for the game. Like, who cares? We're in the 2020s now. Like, I don't care about numbers. Barry Bonds has the all-time home run leader. We don't even consider it that. You know what I mean? So it's like the purists and the numbers. To me, it doesn't even matter anymore. Who cares?
Yeah, and that's like problem. Like with the MLB, you don't have any kind of draw. Like you used to have the home run race. Like you used to have these things that would bring you like, oh, like I got to see this. But now it's like, what are you really tuning in to watch if it's just
dude,
a
think about the Red
game?
You know, I don't know if you guys are old enough, but the 04 Red Sox, man, they had personality. Even the 2013 Red Sox had personality.
Yeah.
But that 04 Red Sox team could march out Kurt Schilling and Pedro Martinez and Manny Ramirez and David Ortiz and Johnny Damon. Like think of those names, Kevin Millar. Like, just think of those names in general. Those guys are like polarizing figures that like you want to know what they're going to do next. Now it's what Raphael. What do we know about Raphael? What does Xander Bogaerts do? You know what I mean? Like,
you can even think back to I think it was 2013. Like when they won that, there was like the playoff beard season. Like they had something.
They had beards all year.
Yeah. But like Shane Victorino was a good character. Johnny Gomes was a good character, right? Like these guys were, Hideki Okajima would come out of the bullpen. You're like, who's this guy? You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden you got Koji just tearing it apart. Like
we were all like hyping him up.
But what I'm saying though is these guys were guys that you could relate to. Now we don't know any. Now Mookie Betts is gone, right? Like I look at this team and I'm like, who do I even like? Whose jersey do I even want to buy?
The most like polarizing player on the Red Sox like the last couple of years as far as like personality was like David Price, and everyone hated him anyway. So like, what do you get out of that? And he's already gone. Like the only person like people would like really have a conversation about, but that was because you didn't like him because he didn't like being here.
I felt like that about Dustin Pedroia as well.
Hot take.
But like, what happens to that sport? So we're all assuming they probably won't play. What happens to that sport? Because everyone's going to find ways to fill their time.
I think it completely dies. They're not going to be.
It's not going to completely die. There's too many people.
No, it's going to die out a lot. They're not going to be able to pay their players, and then we're going to be back to square one next season.
What will happen is contraction. They'll start contracting teams. The Tampa Bay Rays will probably go under because they can't afford it. The Oakland A's will probably go under because they can't afford it. And those guys will go to other teams in a draft, and they'll have more minor leaguers and more jobs, and maybe that's what's good for the game, right? I mean, it's really watered down at this point. It really is. And again, guys, I could look at the All-Star team from last year, and there's still guys I don't even know who they are.
They did that the other day on Felger and Maz. They started naming off MLB players, and they're like showing the picture, and they're like, "Who is this?" And you're like, everyone in the studio's like, "I don't know." And they're like, He was an all-star second baseman. He was an all-star outfielder. They're like, I wouldn't have known. It's just like
I
it
would
just
have
shows
crossed
you.
that. That's all I'm saying.
I could name about good
I could name like three players.
five other
I
baseball
know
players that aren't
teams,
on the Red
and I know
Sox.
Red Sox guys, but like I don't. It's very regional. Like
And you
baseball.
guys are kids. Like you guys look into this stuff. Like
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
yeah.
I
We're all,
have
like,
nothing better to do than look at sports.
We're all in like crazy into sports. Like we're doing this for a reason.
yeah.
And even then, like, I'm not going to tell you I'm the biggest baseball fan of the three. It's easily Nick. But like I don't. Whenever I look into any of that stuff, or if I'm reading about sports or anything like that, like whatever they're talking about with baseball just like doesn't captivate me the way it does with the other sports because it's just not as entertaining.
we just
and like
can't
the players,
relate to the. We can't relate to the players.
and the players are just better. Like I don't know, like the talent level in some of the other sports is just more fun to watch.
No, I think there's still talent level in baseball. Don't get me wrong. Like Xander Bogaerts is an outstanding player. Rafael Devers, what he does,
Not really talent
outstanding
level,
player,
but it's
no,
more
there's
an
no-
entertainment level.
yeah. There's no relationship. There's no entertain. We don't know why we should get behind a player. We've no reason why. And here, Mookie Betts, like they traded him, and it's like, did he really not want to stay here? We didn't even know. We don't even know. Like no, years ago, I know you guys are too young for. No, Garcia Parra didn't want to stay here. It was like one of those things. They had to trade him, and it worked out. And it didn't work out for Nomar. He turned down a big contract, got less money, never even made that money ever again.
Yeah, we talked to Manny Del Carmen, and he was.
Oh man! So yeah, I grew up with Manny. I played ball with Manny. I'm from High Park, so
Yeah,
me and him were on the same team.
yeah, we talked to him a couple weeks ago, and
Oh, that's interesting.
we were
Yeah,
talking to him about some of that stuff.
yeah, man. So yeah, I can tell you guys about him all day. We grew up in High Park together. He was a star player in the City League, and yeah, what happened with him was he got Tommy John surgery, and
Yeah, he was telling us about that. It was hard coming back because he's a guy who throws hard. And it's
But
hard
dude, he started throwing 97 to 99, and he had an incredible curveball. But yeah, he was the kicker on the football team in High Park, and yeah, we grew up together. And like I said, when I tell people I'm from there, it's like, oh, Manny Del Carmen, that's my guy. But yeah, that's another player though, like who came up from the city. People got behind him because he was local. Now it's like imagine if like the Red Sox could get a local guy, and for us to get behind.
I literally couldn't tell you where a single baseball player is from.
Like they tried to get Rocco Baldelli years ago when he was at the end of his career. It just didn't work out. He was also a New England guy. But like, that's really all you got these days. You either hear about this young prospect that they have, or it's like who's on the team now. And I don't know. Baseball's so boring. I can't believe we spent this much time on it.
I know. So with that, just about wraps up this talk for today. Thanks so much, Joe Murray, for coming to talk with us, man.
Yeah.
It was great talking to you. And
You guys.
plug yourself again real quick. Where can people hear you?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at Joey Murr. That was my my radio name for years, and then I got to the Sports Hub, and there was a Jim Murray and a Joe Murray, and it's like, well, you got to go by that name. But on Twitter at Joey Murr, and then I'll be Just Sittin Here, podcast on Spotify, YouTube, and iTunes, and host of the Over Under 985 podcast, which is now a show at 7 a.m. On Saturdays on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
All right. Go listen to Joe whenever you have a chance. Thanks so much for talking with us.
Thank you.
Till next time, we'd love to talk to you again. Thanks so much, Joe. Really appreciate
You
it.
got it, guys. No problem.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to watch our other videos.
Be sure to like and subscribe.
Make sure to follow us on Instagram at offbeat_sports.